Hi everyone, I'm Neil,
And I'm Olivia.
and today we're going to be walking you through OceanBot, which is an extension of Ocean AI, a startup idea Olivia and I have been working on together this quarter. And today we're going to be addressing the problem of prior authorizations. Now, when a patient goes to a doctor and needs a medication for some disease or some pain, a lot of the time the medication will require a prior authorization, which basically tells the insurance company justification on why they should pay for the medication. So the doctor will fill out this really, really long form. It can take anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour to fill out. A lot of it is done manually, pen and paper. And they'll send it back to the insurance company. And insurance companies will find every reason to deny it because a denied prior authorization claim is money that they save. So what we're doing is we're building out a pipeline that makes the prior authorization submission process much, much easier by allowing doctors to interact, obviously in the case of Discord, with this GUI where they can query real patient information and figure out the best information to put in that prior authorization form to get the form approved as quickly as possible. So we're going to walk through a demonstration of this. We're going to have Olivia talk through some of the questions, and I will play the role of a doctor. Take it away.
And so, say you're a doctor, you open your Discord, and you can, for example, ask the bot, "Who's my new patient?" And it'll return, "Your new patient is Derek Lynn." This is taken from the sandbox of the Epic FHIR system. And then we can also ask about the insurance information and get that he uses Blue Cross Blue Shield with the member details. We can also ask about past diagnosis information. And Neil, do you want to take it over for the next couple of questions?
Yeah, so let's pretend that I'm a doctor, and I query this, and I figure out, okay, Derek Lynn has just come back into me, and he doesn't exercise very much. And he comes in with some stomach ulcers. So this is my hypothesis that I tell Discord. I tell him that he doesn't exercise much, comes in with ulcers. I think it's because he's not exercising. What ICD-10 code should I use if I want to prescribe him Carafate? And by going to med school, I know that Carafate is what's good for ulcers. So I read through this, and this is actually querying a bunch of data to figure out what the best ICD-10 code to use is. And I might find that because I know that there's a lack of exercise, I'm going to prescribe him with the Z72.3 code. So prior to OceanBot, doctors would have to parse through 70,000 ICD codes. There are 70,000 of these codes. And they'll have to figure out, okay, which is the best one? And maybe they might look up on the internet. There's no centralized way of doing this. And if they make one mistake with the ICD code, the insurance company denies. Derek Lynn has stomach ulcers for however long until he gets the medication. So now what we're doing is we're kind of minimizing this back and forth between the denial on the insurance company's part and then the approval on their part as well. So I would now send in a prior authorization with ICD-10 code 72.3. And I can also add clinical information that pulls directly from the EHR. So Olivia is now going to talk us through the tech behind how this all works.
Awesome. So we are using Mistral for our agent. We are also using a RAG where we do similarity search. We're storing the vector embeddings using Phase, or however you pronounce that. We also implemented a dual caching system in order to more efficiently both retrieve embeddings as well as chunks for the RAG, as well as past queries and responses. Here we have what the create chunks and get text embeddings functions would look like. We are also doing Mistral function calling in order to minimize the context window for the agent. And so based on what the query is, the agent can figure out what information it would need in order to satisfy or come up with a good response, and then it will run those queries. So for example, those functions, like retrieve relevant info for ICD code would be a function that the bot would call in response for like an ICD code question. We're also doing conversation management with storing the author and previous messages. And we also have some cool API integration. So Neil, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, so what we do in our Python code is I'll show you. So this is our Epic FHIR client that generates our JWT token and then sends that into the sandbox data so we can read real patient data. Of course, Sandbox, it's fake data, but it's integrated with the Epic FHIR API. Now, we're pulling all this information in so that as soon as doctors start using this, they have real information that they can take actionable decisions upon. So we're going to show you our site, and this is OceanAI, and this is what we've been building. So we're automating the entire process from prescription to pickup, and we're optimizing doctors' workflow by automating prior authorizations. And this clinical notes right here is kind of what we're showing in the Discord bot. This is the pipeline that we're solving. We're also, and this is kind of an extension, but we're also building in pharmacy inventory checks to make sure medications are actually in stock. So in doing so, what we're doing is we're cutting physician burnout because they spend much less time on prior authorizations, and we are putting control back in patients' hand with real-time tracking.
Awesome. We're also building out dashboards that would be more formalized versions of the bot. And so here's what a provider dashboard would look like, and they can create a new authorization request.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.